Hi everyone, Eileen here. Okay, this is the second time of trying to video this. I did it the first time and I must say it was a cracker. Unfortunately, you couldn't hear me. The microphone wasn't plugged in enough. Oh no. So I've got to do it again. It's a good job I love this card, isn't it? So here's sample 1 and here's sample 2, and by the end of this video there should be sample 3. Let's go. I have a piece of multifarious cardstock, A4, and I've folded it lengthways, creased it and cut it to 15 centimetres in length by 10 centimetres in width. And then I'm going to place that onto a magnetic sheet here with some copy paper underneath to protect the sheet, then the card, then my stencil, and this is a Lavinia stencil called Flora for the background, and then using my magnets, I'm just going to hold these, put these on the sheet to hold down the stencil. Makes life a little bit easier. This is a self-adhesive magnetic sheet that I've stuck onto a self-healing mat, and these magnets, I don't know where I got these from, but you can use your stamp press if you want to. I mean, that's has got a magnetic sheet, and also you've already got the magnets there as well. Okay, the distress inks that I'm using: dried marigold, speckled egg, love that, and also a little bit later Victorian velvet. So starting off with the speckled egg and a makeup brush, just check that you're looking at this okay. Yep, you are. Let's put it more in the middle. That should do it. Yeah. This pad isn't very wet, so loading up the brush with ink, it needs re-inking, and I've managed to get a re-inker. That's good. And then just in a circular motion, I'm coming round in the middle of the card, out to the left a little bit, not right to the bottom, not right over to the right hand side or to the top. So stay in the middle, but not just a straight block. Try and sort of go out a little bit to one side so that you've got a bit of a curve. That's a nice piece of blue laid down there now. You might not be able to see it too well. It's so dark here today and a bit dismal down in North Kent. It stopped raining, but it is quite grey out there. Now this is the dried marigold and another brush. I'm going to give that an area to itself and then blend it into the blue, but not all over, because I like to see the colours using their own identity. But we do like a blend at the same time, don't we? And that's it. Let's have a look, see what that looks like. Oh yes, that's nice. So taking the Flora stencil away, and I shall give that a wipe over or plonk it in some water. Cardstock, sheet of copy paper underneath. Now I'm looking for my stamp mat, which is here. And I'm going to pop it on its side, because I'm stamping the main image, but I find it easier if it's on its side. I find I can stamp straighter with that. Oh, I'm using the script next. This is another, obviously, Lavinia stamp, and this is called, where is it? This is called Summer's Ebb, and I mean, I'm a bit late with this. So hopefully it will be Winter's Ebb. And I'm just going to use this as a background stamp. So sticking it on the block, Going to use the Speckled Egg Distress ink, but first generation, because I want to see some of this script that I'm laying down, so you can read it if you want to, but mainly it is for background texture. So inking it up with the Speckled Egg Distress. It's on its side, and I'm just going to pop it on this side, right onto the edge of the card and to the top, down, pressing quite firmly, and up. You can actually read most of this, but it's such a pretty blue, so it matches, of course, with the main theme of the stencil with the same blue. Inking it up again, first generation again, not going directly underneath it. Well, I'm going directly underneath it, but I'm moving it off the card a little bit more, so it's sort of got a little bit more balance for the design, not perfectly straight down. Gives it a bit of interest, different sort of widths. And that's that. Okay, so I've finished with the Distress ink. Now I'm going on to VersaFine Clair Nocturne. Don't need the brushes. Main image is this one, and it's called Fairy Thistles. It's lovely. It's been around a while, this stamp, but it's a firm favourite with me. It's really lovely. So inking up, gentle tapping, fairly inky stamp pad, because it's a large stamp. Even though it isn't a silhouette, it still needs a fair amount of ink. Getting all the stem in, and the main flower heads. Beautiful design. Okay, so that's going to go off the edge of the card, the bottom part of the stem, and just trying to gauge where exactly, and hopefully that will be straight. So down, and I'm going to stand up and press now. And then up. That's good. I'll move that up a bit so you've got a better look at that. Gorgeous stamp. Now done. And I'm going to turn it around. The last stamp is this tiny little cluster of mushrooms. And this is in the Lavinia stamps pound section, the £1 stamps. I don't know what it's called, but I think you'll find mushrooms in there somewhere. So gentle tapping again, Nocturne again. Give it a good go. And I'm going to pop this beside, and just coming off the card a little, pop this beside one of the stalks there of the main image, stems. And then ink up again. And do the other side, but I'm coming down, so adjust the height again, more interest. So, and then inking it up for one last time, and again adjusting the height of the stamp again, so it's coming down again, so you can just see the, is it the hoods of the mushrooms? Anyway, the top of the mushroom peeping over the top of the card. There you go. Then on to pink brush, Victorian Velvet, and then a sun or a moon, which I've got here somewhere. And Lavinia Stamps has got some of these on their website, if you have a look now, in the shop, along with some hills and mountains, and really useful in acetate, really useful masks. So I'm going to pop that on there. Just checking my card. It was sort of over a bit, like so. Yep, that will do. And the Victorian Velvet. I find that the makeup brush, instead of a smoothie for this, gives me a lovely hazy effect without any splodges or overdoing it with the ink. Mind you, this pad is quite dry from Victorian Velvet, so I'm having to really push the head of the brush down. Lots of pressure to get the ink out. And what I should have told you is to dry off your main image before you do this, because you can smudge the Nocturne black ink. And I have done that, just a smidge. I didn't with the first two cards, but I have with this one because it wasn't quite dry. I think it will look okay, but yeah, so if you can remember, dry off your image before you attempt to do this. Okay, that's not too bad. Right, so if you didn't do it, I think you'll probably get away with it anyway. Okay, next I'm going to use some of this quickie glue and just draw around, making sure I don't touch that black there of the stamp. Cover that up. So just going to go around the moon, sun, whatever you want to call it. Just the outline of it. Making sure if you're using a piece of paper to protect your fingers from the card, don't go over the glue that you've just put on. Now this glue is blue, and when it dries white, or clear rather, it's then ready for the glitter. I'm not going to put it across these flowers. I just popped it around the outside where they were clear of the line of the sun or the moon. Now, this glitter is from Lavinia. It's called Moon Dust. It's gorgeous colour. Absolute colour. It's silver. Absolutely shines. It's beautiful glitter. Quite large pieces, but that makes a change for me. As long as I don't get it on the carpet because of the paws of the animals, the ferrets and the dogs. Look at that, that's lovely. It's so pretty, this glitter. Right, so if I can pop it back in the pot without spilling it everywhere. Oh, not bad, Eileen, that's not bad. Okay, right, nearly there now. Last thing, Posca paint pen in pink. This is called Pink Rose, and it's a pin type, it says. Pin type nib. Looks like a bullet tip to me, but anyway, it says it's a pin type, and it's 0.7 millimeters. I find that the bullet tips or the pin tips, or whatever they want to call them, work really well. The only one you'll have trouble with is if it's got a brush nib. They don't seem to work too well for this whacking it technique. So, that's my Perfect Layers whacker. It's quite directional. I don't want too much of it in the main sun or moon. Add a smidge, look, just bring it into the side there, but not all over the image. I think that's quite nice. stop there, Eileen, before you overdo it. Aha. And there you have it. Got to take some more of the glitter off. I won't be a moment. Into the bin. And there's one I made earlier. There's another one I've made earlier. And this is the one that I've just completed. So the paint's still wet. Fingers crossed that you can hear the sound this time. Thanks for looking today. I'll be back tomorrow with another Lavinia Stamps video tutorial. I'm hoping to play with the jelly plate this afternoon. And if it works out well, then I'll show you what I've achieved tomorrow and do a tutorial with it. Bye for now. Enjoy your Saturday. Toodle pip.